The Buccaneers and the Eagles facing off yet again. It feels like they've faced off every year. Have they faced off every year over the last couple of years? Really, since 2021, since 2020. Um, this is in Tampa. This game's in Tampa. Injury reports all over the place, right? Mike Evans is not playing. Tristan Wirfs might be. Chris Godwin might be. Their offensive line's still going to get kind of beat up in Tampa. What do you think about this game? The Eagles, thrilling victory last week against the Los Angeles Rams. Buccaneers, third game-winning drive type of a game at the end of the game in a row for them. They're playing with a lot of confidence, but they're kind of beat up, and we don't know it for a fact if they're getting Wirfs and Chris Godwin back, but we do know that they won't have Mike Evans in this game. Your thoughts overall, where do you want to start with this one? Are you starting on Tampa side or Philly side?
To your point, they have played 5 times since the start of 2021, and the Bucs have won 4 of those games. So the Bucs and Todd Bowles do have kind of a little bit of the Eagles' number here, but the Bucs, I just don't know how they can keep getting through all these injuries. Now, the offensive line injuries are well documented. Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan. Now Mike Evans is going to be out 3 or 4 weeks with a hamstring. And at a certain point, like when your receiving core is just Emeka Egbuka, who's been really good, and Sterling Shepard, who's right now your second leading receiver, at a certain point, they're going to have to find a way, I think, to run the football. The problem is, very quietly, they really haven't gotten Bucky Irving going. And I know that's a lot because of the offensive line injuries, but Bucky Irving through 3 games has a 53.3 rushing grade, 3.1 yards per carry, 9 missed tackles forced, but I think that's on, I want to say 56 carries, so it's not coming at a very high rate. And, against this tough Eagles defensive line, you've got Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, Moro Ajomo inside. You've got Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell, look like the league's best linebacker duo at the second level. I got to think at some point the Bucs have to get Bucky Irving going. They really do. I'm not sure how they're going to do it with the banged-up offensive line with Cody Mauch out for the year. I'm not sure. I don't think I've heard that Tristan Wirfs, have you heard if he's going to be back this week or not?
Yeah, there was talk of it. Like the early reports sort of on like Sunday and Monday were that they both could potentially be back this week. But I mean, it's Wednesday, so who knows at this point?
They've got to find a way to run the football, though, because I just think at this point now, without Mike Evans, and look, I love Emeka Egbuka, and he was the best player on the field, arguably, against the Jets last week, but how much more can you ask of him and Sterling Shepard and Baker Mayfield in the passing game without getting proper support in the run game, right? I know Baker Mayfield's been scrambling for a lot of yards, but he's not the guy you want as your team's leading rusher necessarily, right? They need to get Bucky Irving going. If they can find a way to do that against a really good Philly front seven, then more power to them. But I just think it's getting tougher and tougher with all these injuries the Bucs have, and the fact that they're 3-0 almost feels like a miracle already.
Whoa, easy.
I mean, they're a good team. I get
easy.
it. But,
Miracle.
I mean,
that's too harsh.
3-game winning drives.
Take it back.
Only you're a handful of plays from 0-3.
Take it back.
I don't know, man. You almost lost to the Jets.
But they didn't.
What
I'm looking for in this game is, can the Bucs defend Saquon Barkley in the receiving game better? And really, do the Eagles lean into it a little bit more? So it's sort of both sides of that equation. The Bucs have struggled to cover running backs out of the backfield. Specifically, their biggest struggle was with Bijan Robinson. You go, okay, well, it's Bijan Robinson. Well, okay, it's Saquon Barkley. This is kind of the same thing, or at least it should be. The problem is the Eagles haven't really had a lot of success with him as a receiver. So Barkley's got the 8th most targets for running backs out of the backfield with 12 so far this season through 3 games, but he's just 27th among all running backs in receiving yards. So it's like they're throwing him the ball, but he's just not super dynamic about it. This could be a game where he really pops off as a receiver, because the Bucs have really struggled, especially with their linebackers in coverage, against really good receiving backs. And so that's something that amongst all the injuries that you have to think about there. But I think that you can get maybe Antoine Winfield Jr., Jacob Parrish, Tyke Smith. I think you can get those guys a little bit more involved in rallying to wherever the running back is going, helping out Sebastian Dennis and Levante David from that linebacker level, covering those guys. And I think that they can mitigate that a little bit, but that is a X factor part of this game because, yeah, of course, we could talk about Philly's offensive line, the defensive line, the guys they have at wide receiver. Obviously, Jalen Hurts being, man, as stone cold as you could possibly be when it comes to doing what you need to do, staying even keeled, having your emotions in check, just going to the next play and making sure that you win football games like the Eagles have done. What is it? 18 of their last 19 games, which the one that they didn't win was what, Dalton?
Tampa Bay.
It's against Tampa Bay. I think
Well,
the Tampa Bay
wait a
wins this
minute.
game again.
Wait a minute. No,
Huh?
wasn't the Tampa game last year early in the season? Wasn't the one loss to the Commanders?
Oh, I thought it was to the Bucks.
I think their Bucks loss was the last loss before the bye week before they went on this run.
Oh, so that was the one that was right before the run. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was right before because the one loss, if I remember right, was Jaden Daniels leading the Commanders down last second.
All right, so they're 18 and 20 then in their last 20 games. And what was one of those losses?
Oh, it was a good call. It's Tampa Bay. Yeah, you're right.
It's Tampa Bay.
There you go. Nailed it.
I don't know how he does it every single time, but he seems to. Todd Bowles has Jalen Hurts' number. He has Nick Sirianni's number, and I'm going to bet on them again here. Bucks 24, Eagles 21. If it was in Philly, I think maybe it would be a little bit different, but I think that with the Bucks playing as well and as confidently as they are now, I think this is a big if, because if Wirfs and Godwin are both playing in this game, I feel a lot better about it, obviously. But that does not change how well this Buccaneers defense is playing and how they have had the Eagles number in the past. And yeah, A.J. Brown was able to go off last week, but I think that he was picking on some lesser corners last week. And you've got corners and secondary players with the Buccaneers who are not playing for any lack of confidence at all whatsoever. So I'll say that Tampa wins this game. I'm going to go 24-21.
Sticking with Todd Bowles. All right. I think the biggest reason for that is that the blitz packages really bothered Jalen Hurts. That's a big thing. I think the two big things that the Bucs usually beat the Eagles with are the blitzes on defense and yards after catch on offense. I just question the injury part of all this. It's just so many. I mean, Mike Evans now obviously as arguably your best one-on-one receiver and a guy that can win downfield. If Godwin and Wirfs aren't playing, I don't really know what the path is for the Bucs to win here. I think this is finally the week the injuries do get to him. I'm going to go Eagles 24-14. And I just want to say, you make a great point about Saquon in the receiving game because, I know they signed A.J. Dillon and they have Will Shipley, who I think has only played 5 snaps this season. I want to say in the first week. I don't remember. But they don't really have that guy. Even the last couple of years, they had Kenneth Gainwell who could come in on passing downs. They don't really have another guy who could come in on passing downs. I almost wonder, I'm trying to think of names right now, but I almost wonder if that's something they could think about around the trade deadline. Just get a pass catching back to get Saquon off the field sometimes, because I am concerned with the volume that he had last year and obviously the volume and the snap count he's continuing to get this year. If they had a passing down complement to him, or if they just need to start using Will Shipley in some manner in the passing game, I think that would really go a long way towards helping them.